The billionaire John Caudwell is offering a house to a family of refugees in a two-bedroom house on his estate in Staffordshire. Now, he's calling on other wealthy people to follow suit to do the same thing, and we can speak to him now. John, just talk us through, thanks for joining us first of all, but just talk us through what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Well, first of all, I've been absolutely devastated by what Putin is doing to the Ukrainian people. It's unbelievable and dreadful, such a maniacal, psychopathic act. But then you get the inspiration if you see what the Polish people are doing and the other countries in the immediate vicinity of looking after all these refugees. And Britain really needs to do our part. We've been great in providing weapons and great in providing assistance, but we haven't been very good up to yet in taking these refugees in. So 2 or 3 days ago, I decided I needed to go on the front foot on this and offer an apartment that I've got in my estate to a refugee family and encourage other wealthy people to do the same. Now, what's been amazing, the response that's come through to my social media page has been amazing. Not so much because the rich are taking it up, which they are, but because just ordinary people who've got no particular wealth and only one spare room in their house are offering that spare room to refugee families. And it really, really does warm your heart that the British people are taking this on board like this.
Absolutely. I mean, we get callers in as well saying they'd be happy to do it, and they're frustrated because there was no way of contacting the government to say that this is what they wanted to do. Now there is, the government are encouraging everybody or asking everybody if they would like to house a refugee, but you're focusing on the wealthy. Now, we saw the house up there. It looks lovely. So it's the full house you're offering to a family, is that right?
No, it's an apartment, but a perfectly adequate apartment for 3 or 4 people, and in a beautiful setting, as you can see. But the main thing is I really want to be supportive of that family in whatever way that I can, and you know, maybe if they're entitled to work and find them, help them to find a career, because we don't know how long this is going to last. So whilst this is mainly intended as a charitable act first and foremost, if I can help them gain dignity within the UK and a job for themselves and a way forward so they have a new life in case the Ukraine never comes back to normality, then that would be my ultimate objective.
I think what you're doing is absolutely incredibly honourable, and the apartment, sorry, looks great. But I'm going to take a cynical view now, so bear with me, I'm going to be a bit cheeky. I think there'll be a lot of people out there that think you have many houses. This is just one apartment on an estate, but you have many houses. You've got a house in London that I read today was worth 250 million, which is incredible. Now, don't tell me that only has 2 rooms. So you have a few spare rooms here. So why don't you do more? Do what, you know, the average Joe is doing and take people into your house?
Well, I will do as much as I can, but the reality of it is that this house in Mayfair that you're referring to is worth a fortune. 70% of that will go into charitable actions either during or after my lifetime. If I filled it full of refugees with the best will in the world, it's going to get ruined, because we have to be so careful with this house. I'm taking great care of this house, but bear in mind, 70% of this house will go to charitable causes. I will do things that don't need to involve this home, which is used for charity anyway, because I have all my Caudwell Children Life Changer Circle dinners here and use it for those charitable purposes. But I will continue helping the Ukrainians in whatever way I can until this is resolved. So this is my first gesture, but it's not going to be my only one. I'm looking at other ways that I can provide greater help over the coming months and maybe even the coming years, because, as I said, we don't know how long this is going to last.
No, you're right. Now, as a Tory donor yourself, I'm just wondering how you feel the government has handled the Ukrainian refugee crisis. Are you quite impressed with how they've handled it?
Well, I think we're a bit slow off the blocks up to yet, but let's make the point that we are the leading donor of military weapons to the Ukraine. We've done an amazing amount of good for the Ukraine in that way. In terms of the refugee crisis, no, I'm not impressed. We need to pull our fingers out, and I think that we're doing that now. And hopefully even though we're slow to the starting blocks, we will get going quickly now and make a huge difference to those refugees who, for whatever reason, want to come to Britain instead of the other states that are in the immediate vicinity of the Ukraine.
Thank you very much, John Caudwell. Thank you very much for joining us. It's fascinating to hear what you're doing, and I look forward to seeing what else you're going to do. Thank you very much for joining us.